Good morning. Um, Here we are, Saturday. Um, Cold today, probably pretty cold. I think maybe we might get some rain or freezing rain or something like that. We'll see. I have to go get some groceries today, so I'll make sure to get bread and milk. No, I will. I think I have that. Good morning, Deb, and good morning, Dora. So, uh, Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And today is, I was looking at my calendar of days, and it said Galentine's Day, which I've heard of. And I think it's actually, I don't know that it's actually a thing. Maybe it is. I first heard about it on some TV show that I was watching, but the idea was that it was a day to celebrate friendship with your female friends, um, which I thought was fun and a good idea. I don't know that you have to do it all in the same weekend or one day after another. That may be too much celebration to jam into one space, but whenever you choose to do it, I think it's a great idea. Um, this idea of love, we talk about in yoga a lot. And when we're speaking of that, we're talking about this, universal love. But just as important as that is a more personal form of love. And I think it's very interesting. Um, so, they say that, and I don't know if it's true, but they say that, Eskimos have 100 different words to describe snow. One word means like heavy snow, one is light snow, one is wet snow, one is dry snow. But again, it's the phenomenon that's so pervasive for them that they have come up with specific words to describe their experience. Um, and you'll find this in cultures everywhere that when it's something that is very pervasive in the culture or very present constantly, or something of very deep interest, there'll be a large vocabulary that has grown up to describe it. So I think it's interesting that in English, we simply have one word, love, right? and, and it's supposed to cover a lot of different things. Um, and it makes me think of the childhood taunt when someone would say that they loved candy. Someone would say, well, why don't you marry it then, right? Because again, we don't have any way of differentiating between uh, we don't have specific words to differentiate between the love you might feel for a spouse and the love you might feel for a candy bar. We are kind of deficient in that sense, I think. So other cultures and other philosophies are more specific. I was reading about Greek philosophy has 8 different words to describe uh, the experience of love. Um, and they're very specific types, right, of love. So the first one that they talk about is eros, which is this form of romantic love, right, which we are all familiar with, and we are, exhorted by society to get out there and find someone and experience romantic love, and it's highly celebrated. Every book you read, every movie you watch, there will be, some pursuit of that, right? We are familiar with what that means. Um, I'm going to look at my thing here because I don't remember them in order. Okay, so the second one is philia, which is affectionate love. Um, and philia is friendship, right? Philia is the love that you might have for the people that are important to you in your life. It isn't a romantic relationship. It isn't anything in terms of physical attraction. I mean, you may find them attractive, but that it's not about that. It is um, a friendship, right? A familiarity that you have made with someone who may be, like-minded, or gets your jokes, or whatever it is, right? Um, that is a very important part of life, right? Having friends. Honestly, I wish that that could be more highly celebrated in our culture, um, to the extent, even more so than, say, romantic love, right? Because as we all know, romantic love is not necessarily lasting, right? uh, Romantic partners can come and go. That is the nature of that type of relationship. But friends can last a lifetime, right? We may have friends that we've had since childhood. So that's a very important relationship, and one that I think people tend to discount and put on the back burner in favor of other things um, that they're pursuing, right? But uh, give some time, take some time for that. It is important, and it really rounds your life out to have a few friends. You don't have to have a ton of friends, but a few real friends. Agape, which is kind of a funny word, agape, um, is this same idea of the universal love that we talk about in yoga. Um, the Greeks also, had this sense of this universal empathy, compassion, love, affection that we can have for the world, for everyone, for people we don't even know, for just the idea of people. Um, for the universe, for God, for um, everything, right? That is agape. And we know about that, right? Storge. Storge is familiar love, familiar in the sense of family, right? So Storge is the love that you might have for family members, and it is a little different from philia, from that friendly love, in that it's more exclusive, I guess you might say. So it's almost a protective feeling you might have. So it's that idea of kinship, and maybe feeling more attached to someone because you have a blood connection to them. Um, Maybe you grew up with them. Maybe you have a shared experience of being in a family unit, right? So that's a specific kind of love. Um, Not to say, and again, like, there's no hierarchy here, right? One love is not more important than another love. It's just a way of sort of codifying it. Um, and Storge also applies to maybe this idea of patriotism, or attachment to your tribe, right? Or your country, your um, again, like that kind of a group, that you're part of a group. Um, Mania, right? That's a type of love that they talk about. That mania is kind of, love gone bad, right? So a lot of times eros, which is that romantic love, then borders into mania, where it is, obsession, obsessive behavior, stalking, all of that stuff falls into mania. So um, I think, and that's important to understand, that difference, that um, the opposite of love, right, is indifference. It's not caring. It's not hatred, and it's not uh, not even stalking or trying to do someone harm. That is a weird kind of love, because you are really focused on this individual, and you're giving them all your attention in a very negative way. So we want to be careful with eros. Eros is a powerful force, and uh, the Greeks were very clear about that you are really under the control of eros when you are in a romantic relationship, and it has the potential to take over, and maybe drive you over the edge if you aren't careful with it. So don't move into mania. Ludus, which is playful love, which is things like flirting and not serious, not the serious kind of thing, right? So you may have experienced this in your life where um, just, appreciating other people for their attractiveness or something, but nothing serious about it, right? That's apparently its own type of love, right? Pragma. I like this one. Pragma is enduring love. So if you have a long-term romantic partner and pragma rolls out of eros, it doesn't mean that your long-term romantic partner you don't still have that spark with, but it's more than that, right? You have developed pragma, which is this the give and take that it really means to be in a long-term relationship. It's the understanding of compromise, of respect, of all of these things that go into a healthy relationship. Um, Eros is enough to kind of get you through the first few years. But after that, you better develop some skills. And that's what pragma is. Pragma is this long term appreciation of one another. Um, it's a great thing. Um, I've been married for, it's so long I can't even really tell you for sure. 32 years this year, something like that. Um, so it's a long time, right? And we've developed a lot over the years. It's hard to remember what it was like when we were just young kids, but spending your life with someone is a pretty special thing. I got to tell you, and I appreciate my husband every day. And when he's not around, I appreciate him even more for the things that he helps out with, the support that I get from him. He's always been my best friend and my biggest supporter in everything I've ever done. So thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. He's not even here to hear this, but maybe he'll listen to it later. Um, so yeah, long-term relationships. If you have one, there, you know what I mean, right? Pragma. And then Philotia. Probably not saying that right. This is the idea of self-love, of um, caring for yourself, of appreciating yourself. And really, this is the basis. Self-love is the basis of all the other loves. If you can't muster up that self-love, you're going to have a hard time giving of yourself to others. Um, so self-love is a good place to start. Appreciating uh, who you are. Um, if you don't have a friendly feeling towards other people, if you find it hard to muster up love in any form, take a look at how you're treating yourself. What is your opinion of yourself? A lot of times, we don't hold very good feelings about ourselves, and that's worth looking at. Um, if you don't feel great about yourself, go deeper. Remember, you are, a child of God. You are a part of this universe, a piece of this great whole. Um, you have that spark of the divine. If nothing else, right? If you can't find anything else to love about yourself, love that. Love that life force that's within you, and cherish that. That right there brings you on par with the highest king in the land, right? You share that. Um, and it's a great place to start. If you're not happy about some of the things in your life, start from there. Move on from there. We all start from that place. We all are born with that spark. we can build on that and expand. Um, it's never too late to change how we're going and what we're doing. It's never too late to seek out love, to give love, and to receive love. Um, I'm always, I love stories of people who have long term friendships, people that they've known for 80 years. And I love stories of people who, meet older people, meet after, 50 years never seeing each other, get married, or just meet somewhere and 80-year-old people getting married, 90-year-old people getting married. It's a great optimism. It's a great testament to people being willing to keep loving, to keep caring for one another. um, there is no expiration date on any of these things. And if you don't feel like you've had enough love in your life, go out and seek it. But be aware, right? It doesn't have to be a date. it doesn't have to be a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Um, it can be a good friend. It can be cultivating these type of relationships that make your life more enjoyable. Um, it can be a dedication to that universal love, right? Um, that is in many ways the highest form of love, right? That love is always there. It will never change. It will never um, be different. It will never lose interest or disappear, right? Um, it is with us forever. So on Valentine's Day, almost Valentine's Day, on Galentine's Day, right? Um, think about this. Think about what you do in your life in service of love. Um, what do you give and what do you receive? Um, Many times in life, we will see that the scales are not balanced in this. Um, a lot of times we are giving way more than we are receiving. But there will be times in your life when you are receiving, I hope, a great deal more than you've given. Um, Sometimes we don't have the capacity to give. Those are the times that we need the support and the help from other people, their love and their compassion. So don't be afraid to receive that if you need it. Um, it all balances out in the end, right? Um, we don't have to keep score. We don't have to say, well, you were good to me before, but now you're not, so I'm not going to be nice to you. That's not, right? That's a transactional way to look at things. And we know this is not the way. The way is to give. And to just give and to give as much as you can to the best of your ability. Know that you won't always be able to give, but you're giving in advance, right? You're paying it forward, knowing that that action is turning the wheel, and you will reap reward from that action. You don't have to. Uh, you don't have to keep track, right? You don't have to keep track. There is a cycle to all of this that is keeping track for you, right? Uh, so um, yeah, just love and be loved, and enjoy your Valentine's Day. Don't eat too much candy. Um, yeah, we got candy. We bought some candy yesterday for Valentine's Day. I didn't eat any though, but I probably will tomorrow for sure. All right, so let's move around a little. Sitting up tall. Drop the chin. Breathe. Then moving your head around. Big circle. one way and the other. Back to center. Lean forward, move around. One way and the other. Back up. Arms wide. Deep breath. Exhale, hands together. Inhale, arms wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift the hands. Gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. Lower. Once more. Lifting up. And lower. Lift the shoulders. Roll back. And forward. Left hand on right knee, right arm behind, sit up tall and twist. Back to center and switch around. Let's walk the hands out. And then squeeze the shoulders together. Gaze up. And then back to your seat. Let's bring up goalpost arms. Take a deep breath. Twisting to the right. Back to center and then moving left. And then back again. Tabletop. Let's move a few sets of cat-cow. So inhale, lower the belly, lift the head, and then reverse that. Sit back on the heels. And then moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. And step the feet up. Be in your fold for a few breaths. Rising up. Stand tall. Breath in and breath out. Maybe lift the shoulders, roll back. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, step the right foot back. Set your knee down, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Moving back to downward dog. Inhale, high plank. And then lower down. Inhale, just lifting head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. Lower. Once more, lifting up and lower down. Moving back up. One more breath. Then step the right foot up. Drop the knee, arms overhead. And then hands to the mat. Back foot steps up, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lift. Arms high. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Arms overhead. Hands to the mat. Moving back. Downward dog. High plank. Lower down. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift head and chest. Lower. Once more. And lower. Moving back up. Tabletop or upward dog. Ending up in downward dog. One more breath. Left foot steps up. Arms overhead. And hands to the mat. Back foot steps up, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting high. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's step to the side. So we're facing side of the mat. Hands at the waist or the hips. Deep breath. Lean forward. And you can hands bring them down onto the feet or the legs or down onto the floor. Hands back. Use that strength in the legs to help lift you up. Take a breath. And then we're going to turn facing the front of the mat. And we've got right leg out in front, left leg behind. Interlace fingers. Squeeze back the shoulders. Deep breath. Fold forward. Come on up about halfway. Keep the hands behind. We're going to shift weight into the right leg. And then just experiment lifting up the left. See how it works today. Maybe you feel balanced. Maybe not. You can just lift a little, right? Just see. We're always striving to find that balance. And every day, it will be different. Let it be different. Don't fight it. Just see how it is. And then set the foot down. Back foot steps up to the front. Arms overhead. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's step to the left. Another fold. This time, let's bring the hands to the hips and rotate the arms back. So we're bringing the arms back as far as we can. The hands, I should say, back as far as we can. And squeeze the elbows together. Shoulders back. Deep breath. Fold forward. Moving back up. Let's release the arms. Bring them up overhead. Maybe interlace the fingers, flip the palms. Hands back down by the side. Turning again to face the front, but this time we'll have the left leg out. Right leg behind. Interlace. The fingers squeeze the shoulders back and fold. Then coming up halfway, keep the hands behind, shifting, and see how the balance is on this side. And breathe. If you step out, try again. And then set the foot back down. Back foot steps to the front, arms overhead. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Coming down to a seat. Soles of the feet together. Sitting up tall. Take that deep breath. And then hinging from the hips, we're just bringing that whole upper body forward. Shoulders still back. Chest is leading. If you're not sure about this, I find this is a difficult pose for some people to keep a flat back, right? The urge is to kind of curve your body down toward the feet. So if you find that is the case with you, bring your hands behind you, right? Grab wrists. Maybe walk the hands up. Maybe you can get the elbows. But bring the hands behind, right? Get yourself set up here. Think about these shoulders being back. And then try to lean forward, right? Without the arms, we don't have that same urge, right? We can feel when we start curving the back. So you may not come down nearly as far as you think, or as far as you feel like you normally do, right? But again, that's when you curve the back, it's an illusion of flexibility and length. All you're doing is putting strain on the vertebrae and everything through the spine. So we don't want that. Ideally, come on back up. Ideally, when we're doing our forward folds and things, we aren't really using the spine much at all. All of that movement is coming from the hip area. And your spine is, it's straight. You're not curving it. And the worst of all possible worlds, right, is when we're sort of curving the spine and we're trying to lengthen at the same time. You can feel that. You'll feel through your lower back if that's happening, right? There'll be a pulling and a stretching that you don't really want to feel too much, right? You want to have this all initiating through this hip area. And if your hip flexors are tight, that can be hard. Like it's you feel like you're not moving much at all, right? And that's okay. We will work. We're working on getting those hip flexors more movable, and you don't want to overstrain the lower back or strain other muscles in the back, compensating for tight flexors, right? Instead, just do less. Be comfortable with the idea that you can't necessarily come forward as much as you'd like to think you are, right? It's okay. It really is. You'll get there. Wherever you're supposed to be, you will get there. Point or flex the, or, I don't even know what it, point and flex. Yeah, point the feet, not the toes. Point and flex. I like to think when we're frustrated with stuff that's going on with the body in terms of movement and flexibility, everything is temporary. If you don't like how it is now, just keep going because it will change, right? Rotate, right? It'll change one way or another. If you stop moving, it will change poorly, right? You will start to get stiffen up. You will start to not have the range of motion and then come back. If you keep moving, you will gradually have more. I can't guarantee that you're going to have all the range of motion you've ever wanted in the world. Your body may just not be built that way. Maybe you don't have, there's something specific about your body or the way you use your body that is going to make things hard for you. I think I've talked about this before. People that lift a lot of weights, people who run. Runners are generally very tight hamstrings, which limit that ability to sort of stretch the leg out. I mean, that's just the way it is. You can be the most fit person in the world. Tight hamstrings are going to limit your flexibility. That's just the nature of it. You can't have one without the other. You can't be a runner without having some tight hamstrings. That's what happens. When you're a bodybuilder or like seriously into lifting weights, you may have some difficulty getting into certain postures. Your muscles will simply get in the way, right? There's a shortening that comes with the building of the muscles that makes some flexibility, right? It's a trade-off. Just like everything in life, it's a trade-off. Inhale, lift the arms, and then initiating from the hips, we're leaning forward. Come on back up. But expecting that we can have everything is, that's no reason not to do what you're doing, right? Because you'll never be an Olympic swimmer. Should you give up swimming? Should you never go in a pool again? You're going to maximize the best use of your body by continuing movement. That's all that anyone can hope for, right? Is to be able to use their body in the best possible way. Taking what you have and working with it. That's yoga, right? It's nothing trickier than that. Bend the knee, and then we're going to lower it to the side. Sitting up tall, working from the hip, we're folding forward. Back up, switch it around, lower the knee, take a deep breath, fold forward. Back up, both legs out in front. Deep breath and fold. And then back up, bend the knees. Lower down. Take a few breaths here. And we're going to do supported bridge. So if you've got a block, we're lifting up. Breathe. And then lifting up. Press back down on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Take a few breaths. Maybe arms up over your head. And then knees to center. Hug them into the chest. Move side to side. And then arms to a T or goalpost arms. We're going to lower both knees to the right, gaze left. Back to center. Gazing right. And then knees back to center. Hands by your side. Legs extend. And then lowering down. Relax. Breathe. Relaxing into Shavasana. Peaceful sensation in the body. So much of our popular culture is devoted to this idea of pursuing love, when in truth, you always possess it. Right? Within is the greatest love of all, the biggest love of all. Cultivate that, cherish that. Be good to yourself. Know that you come from the source of love. And from there, you can share it. You can give of that love that you feel within. Love is one of those things that does not diminish as it is shared. You have an infinite source. You don't have to worry that you're going to run out. You won't. Um, Love does not have to be reciprocal, right? You can love someone that you don't even know. You can love someone just, again, because they are a human being, as we are. Um, a living being, right? This applies to animals and plants and, and anything that is alive, right? We all share some form of this spark. So um, give freely. You will get a lot in return, right? Again, you can't measure it. I can't guarantee that you're going to get back every scrap that you put out. No, I can't guarantee that the people you love will love you back. But it doesn't matter. We love them anyway. Um, it's like I like this quote or it's I don't know, it's not really a quote, but it's like a little saying where someone says, "Well, I don't believe in God," or a higher being, or whatever you want to call it, and the response is, "It doesn't matter. God believes in you." Um, so if your love is not reciprocated, it doesn't matter. You love them anyway, right? It's a force, just like any other force in the universe, and um, you have the ability to use that force. So take it and spread it far and wide. And then moving a bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet. Moving yourself up to a seat when you're ready. Bring hands together, breath in and out. Thank you for taking some time this morning for yoga, for coming to your mat and sharing with me. I hope that you have a very good Saturday and a good rest of the weekend and a happy Valentine's Day. Namaste. Thank you. I realized that I forgot to do meditation yesterday. I don't know why. I just ended class. I just wasn't. I don't know. I set everything up in my phone and everything, and I don't even know. But we'll do it, and we're not going to do double today. Although we could, but we're not going to. It's just 5 minutes. You don't have to do twice as much. It's not like a. It's not a set thing. It's not. We don't get more points if we do a certain amount of time. It's all good. So 5 minutes, sitting up, relaxed, breathe, peaceful state of mind. Okay. Hold. I didn't have the volume turned up, so that won't help us. Okay. Take 2. Sitting peacefully. Relax. Breathe. Okay, we're back. I realized that when I'm meditating, I think I listen a lot for the birds. I listen to the sound of the birds, which probably isn't a very great technique, but it actually helps me let go of my thoughts to just listen to the birds. And I think there's a lot of birds out there today. I filled up the bird feeders. My husband got some like fancy bird seed. I mean, like it's got peanuts and things in it. It looks good enough, for me to eat. But I have a feeling the squirrels are going to go crazy for it. So, but I do hear a lot of birds out there. So I'm going to go look at my bird feeder, see what's happening. Okay, enjoy your weekend. Have a nice Valentine's Day. Do something wonderful for yourself. Do something that makes you happy. One of our things is to go shopping the day after Valentine's Day and buy cheap candy. So that could be a possibility. All right, enjoy, and I'll be back Monday.